Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Simon Javan Okelo. I am the CEO and founder of Madaraka Festival, and I am also hosting the Madaraka Festival podcast. And I have a wonderful brother who is my guest, my brother Dave Ngiri. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you, bro. I'm happy to be here.
So those who are meeting Ngiri for the first time, this is a brother who is a mover here in Kisumu. He's a brilliant media creator. He's a brand builder. In fact, one of the things we're going to talk about is one of his, most popular and successful brands that he's built over the years. But for now, I want you to take us back to your upbringing, paint for us a picture of where it was and how those years have impacted the work that you're doing today.
Thank you, Simon. I'm happy to be here and also happy to be part of Madaraka Festival. If I take you back to my throwback, it's very interesting. We are recording this podcast in Manyatta. One Vibe is also based in Manyatta.
True.
I also stayed in Manyatta. I was brought up in Manyatta sometimes back. And I can't remember the place very well, but I know we lived in Manyatta sometimes back. And it's also very interesting that after primary and then high school, then college, I also opened a studio with a colleague of mine, also in Manyatta, that ran for about 3 to 4 years. Okay. But basically my bringing, born and bred in Kisumu, I went to Rainbow Nursery.
Is that right?
In Manyatta.
I used to pass by the Rainbow, like the most popular nursery.
It was in Kisumu,
yeah.
Yes. So Rainbow Nursery,
then
primary Jolomino. Jolomino is down there when you head to Western, Nyala and those sides.
Yes. Next to Tomboya
Labor College. Yeah. By that time, I think we moved now from Manyatta to a place called Kilo. Kilo is in those sides, so again of Tomboya, behind just Jolomino. And then during primary, I think when I was at class 6 or 5, we moved to Milimani. And high school, I was in Ramba. At least, because I was within the same district, by that time neighborhood, yes. So I was in Ramba High School for 4 years. I enjoyed actually my high school life. I was a very active basketball player and also table tennis player. I think I was number 2 in that region. Yes. And then from high school, I went to Rift Valley Institute of Science and Technology. That is in Nakuru. I did my, I'll say, crash course because it was 2 years. I was supposed to go for 3 years, but I did 2 years. Maraka and venture into other things. Yeah, so after college, I remember that's when I started having an interest, especially in music. Although I'd been doing music before as an artist. I'm also an artist by the way.
I know.
Yes. So I remember our first limelight, because initially we used to do shows for concerts. And there's a very nice guy that I'd like to also recognize. That's DJ Ade of House of Funk.
Right.
Yes, House of Funk gave us most of the platform we had for our music gigs. And we had the opportunity to actually raise for most artists that came to Kisumu as main artists. And our breakthrough actually was in 2002. That is when they had the Safaricom concert. By that time it was called, right now they've had Safaricom Live, concert, everything, but that time I think it was coined something different, Safaricom concert or something, but I remember it was happening in Kisumu. And
was it Safaricom Live?
No, Live came much later.
Okay.
It was 2002, but it was a Safaricom event. What they were doing is going in different regions, major towns, and holding competition for artists. That time I remember there was Big Kev, may he rest in peace. Big Kev was one of the guys running the event on behalf of Safaricom. And we guys had a group called Clandi. We had been rapping in clubs before. And we managed actually to make it to the semis, which was at Carnival. And by this time, still there was no Facebook, there was no IG. We used to depend mostly on, even YouTube wasn't that active by that time in this region. We used to depend mostly on TV and newsprint paper. And I remember after we guys went to Safaricom concert, and then we were actually featured on, I think it was a whole page of the Nation newspaper, the qualifiers for the Safaricom Kisumu region. heading to Nairobi for the Carnival concert. And then we also featured in a program called, that time it was Nation TV, a program called Warehouse. Yes, we also featured on Warehouse and then also KBC. And this actually now opened up now our eyes, and we said, oh, we can really make it big in the industry. So after, that was just after I cleared high school, and I was doing some work, I think, for an NGO before I went to college. So now, of course, college took the strain, a bit of the musical part, but we were still coming back, getting gigs in Kisumu. And then after college, now I ventured into production. Actually, I remember I'd gone to a studio to record, and unfortunately, the studio producer had gone for holiday. And then the manager for the studio, actually the owner of the studio, just asked me that, can you record? I told him I can't record, I can only produce instrumental. And then he told me, what if I give an opportunity to learn about the recording equipment? I remember they were using, that time they were using Ayama workstation, AW1600, a very good machine by the hardware by that time. So because I had the urge to learn production and I'd be given an opportunity, he gave me the manual. Those days, of course, because internet was scarce, you couldn't go online and scan, so we had to read the manual. So I took my time. I think it took about 3 hours reading the manual just to understand how it operates. By the following day, I was recording. So it's something that I had an interest, and that's how I became a producer. So that's how I got my name also, Ngiri Forte, me being an artist for that time and also a producer. And I think during that time, I worked with about 80% of Kisumu artists. Yes, and I got to learn about now different genres. I'm actually, I still love hip hop. But then I realized there's a music called Afrofusion, by the way, which I came to love so much. I recorded Benga artists, I recorded Ohangala, I recorded gospel guys, even the late Ben Jachiga was also one of the artists I recorded. There was a guy who was very popular, Benga guy called Orwaja Solo. It was I was very young by that time, but I used to hear of this great Benga artist. So one time I came to the studio and I was impressed. It was a pleasure. I mean, I didn't like Benga music at that time, but I was like, this is an opportunity now to record and get to learn about Benga music. That's how I also started to love the Afrofusion music. So later in the years, working with a couple of artists, I got my first job at the first media house job at Radio Lake Victoria. That's in Dunga. Worked there for about 4 years. So during this time, I had some very good experience learning, being the head of production, and learning also to come up with adverts, ideas, which was brilliant. I mean, for me, that was a creative field for me. So I got an opportunity in 2010 that I love talking about until now. It was, remember 2010 World Cup was held in South Africa.
That's true.
Yes, and the artist performing was Shakira. Shakira Waka Waka, you remember?
So Kenyan performed there.
Yes, performed there too.
Yeah,
of course, yes.
His song, he had a song that blew up
yes,
around that time.
By that time, 2010, SA, remember World Cup? And that was huge. And while I was at Radio Lake Victoria, they had an NGO called Oceanala. And they had a program, an exchange program that came in with the Leicester University. And they had a section, or let's say, a particular field that I was very much interested in, and this was filming. So the first training for filming was done at our premise in Dunga. And then, of course, now we had an extension of programs that we used to do in Bogoria, like Natron in TZ, Chalpole in TZ, and also in Naivasha. So I used to go for these short courses for filming. So it happened that during one of my sessions in 2010, I became friends with is now actually he's based in Kenya, but it's from the UK. Right now he's actually a professor. It's called Ed Morrison, Professor Ed Morrison. So he did his PhD, came back, started doing his research work in Kenya. So by that time I was a student at Leicester. So we became friends because of one thing, hip hop. He used to see me having headphones at night, bumping my head while I'm editing the videos. And then one time he was curious, just asked me, what are you listening to? So I checked off the headphone and he could listen to the hip hop. And this guy, interesting, is a fan of Wu-Tang. I mean, he's a white guy who's a fan of Wu-Tang, by the way. And I'll say African hip hop. So we became friends. And then one time he just, while traveling back from Lake Bogoria to Nakuru and then to Kisumu, he just flouted an idea and told me that since you do audio production, I have a friend who we grew up with in UK, and right now he's Shakira's director for film. And they'll be coming to Kenya to film something promoting education in Africa, but we'll be filming specifically in Naivasha. So he just asked me, are you interested? Can you do the audio work? I mean, you get paid. I said yes. I mean, and I said yes because of the money.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, oh, these are hawks. There's no way I'll be working with Shakira's director.
Yeah.
You're filming, I mean, how?
Yeah.
Yes. So I just said yes because there was money involved.
Yeah.
So fast forward, I remember when the guy told me that now Shakira's film guy, the camera guy, and the director are coming to Kenya. And we'll be working in Naivasha. So I will travel the following week to come for a whole week of filming or audio recording. So I said, yeah, why not? I mean, for me, I was looking at the money and the package is good, just for audio recording. So I came to Naivasha. It's interesting, when I landed, I was taken to where the director was and the camera guy. Of course, I'd never met him. And like I said, the internet was scarce way back in 2010. So I didn't even do my research asking who is the camera guy or the film director. So when I knew this deal is actually for Shakira is when he went on Skype and dialed Shakira, and I saw Shakira appearing on screen. Said hi to everyone, and they could be talking in Polish, I think, or something Polish, and mixing English. So I was telling my guy, there's a pal I went with who was doing the project. I was like, hey, bro, this thing is for real. We're actually doing a project for Shakira. And I was really excited. And I remember by that time I'd taken a leave off work, a sick leave. So I was getting excited. I almost went on my phone and posted that I'm excited working with Shakira. Then I remember I'd taken a leave, a sick of leave. So these guys know I'm probably on sick rest. So I didn't post. Working with the guy is called James Lees. James Lees is Shakira's film director. His camera guy is called Matthias Nyberg. So I met the guys and had a very different experience working with these guys. And I love the part that I think by the time we were doing, I was recording using a Zoom 4 recorder. And the experience was amazing. I think initially I was used to using a Zoom 2, so moved to Zoom 4. The experience was amazing. We were recording for a week, and I remember so well that my work was only audio. So at the end of it, I got my money, and I asked Tony for one favor from the film director. I just asked him to do for me a recommendation letter from his company, which was Hobo Film Company. So he told me to do it after a week after I got to the UK. And then he told me that this video is going to be played just before Shakira gets on stage. And we did a whole week of filming, but they said it's only going to be a minute. Wow. Yes, the entire work. Yeah. So I came back. I mean, it was exciting. After a week, I actually got the letter from Hobo Film Company as a recommendation. I was very excited. I mean, because it's opened up doors for me in very many places just by having that recommendation letter. Right. So now I remember after when World Cup actually 2010, before Shakira went on stage, the video was played. So I asked the guy on email how I can get the video. By that time, they were not even using YouTube. They were sharing on a platform called Vimeo. Yes. Yes. So I watched on Vimeo. I was very excited. In my mind, I was like, I'm the guy who recorded this audio. It was very exciting. But now, fast forward, that letter that he sent me as a recommendation has opened for me very many doors, especially in the media industry. That's how even I started becoming a social media content creator, digital marketer. And because I realized that apart from me doing audio and film, I can also do a lot of marketing for SMEs or corporates. And I've worked, a lot of corporates. I've worked with the EABL, worked with the guys of Safaricom too, for major events, and also the small SMEs that I've also worked with. And then comes back now to Cordial Nation. Yes. And
how did it, why did you start Cordial?
It's a very interesting story that
I think it's Cordial is something you like to say, and I think everybody it's like a joke.
It's like a joke. I'll be talking to you, having a conversation, you say something, I'm like, Cordial. Like I'm dismissing you. So now just a brief history. I'm an Arsenal fan. And then it happens that most of my friends are Manu fans. So we have banter on social media, especially Manu. I love when Manu loses, by the way. So we used to have these banters with my pals on social media, especially Facebook. And they'll come and overwhelm me because I'm like one guy against 10 Manu guys arguing about football and history. And Manu guys love history lessons. And so when I'm overwhelmed, I'll say, cordial nyinyi. But now instead, when I used to walk in jungle places, these guys are the ones who used to call me, Cordial umefika, Cordial, kumbuko hapa. Now instead, they started calling me Cordial. Then I thought about it after a while, and the idea came up. How about I make this a brand? So I spoke to one of my guys who I used to record. He's an artist and also a graphic designer. So I told him my concept is having a brand called Cordial. The guy is Luya, but he understood what Cordial is. I mean, Cor is chest, and the DL is a goat. So I just told him, just do a design and send me Cordial. Just to have a goat on it chewing something. So the guy just did the first sample, and that was it by the day. I didn't want any other samples. I just said, this is it. So it so happened that the first t-shirts I made were about 10 t-shirts. And I posted on social media. So the first day I posted, all the 9 t-shirts were bought on the same day. I was remaining the one that I was wearing. And then I remember I went to a place called Jalil Bar Restaurant, which used to be on Nairobi Road. And when I went with my t-shirt, a pal of mine saw it. He had ordered for the ones that he saw online. I told him the offer. He insisted he's buying my t-shirt. But they started to go and wear another one, which is not Cordial but silent. So all the prints I had for Cordial went. Then I realized this can now become a business idea. So I get new ideas, doing t-shirts, doing now bucket hats, doing hoodies, now planning to go into sweatpants. I'm now doing even puffy jackets for Cordial, and I mean, it's huge, it's everywhere. I'll even say now Cordial is worldwide.
It is.
Yes, it's in...
I saw it in Mexico.
Yes, in Mexico, it's there, in sets, it's there. I mean, it's all over. And if you look at even most cars, especially within Kisumu and even Mombasa and other regions, you'll see it as stickers of Cordial. So that's how the brand came up, and I'm still pushing it.
You've done a really great job with it.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Let's talk about Madaraka Festival.
Madaraka Festival, 2024. I'd love to say that the only Madaraka Festival I missed was the one was it last year or the previous year when I was out of town?
2019.
2019.
The
that
one
was
we did at Beach Resort.
At Beach Resort. Yes, I missed that because I was out of town. And Madaraka Festival, personally, I remember even when you started this concept. And I came here, met some artists you brought. Another time there was Sauti Sol and there was Nasizi here also. And for me, it was nice because you're actually bringing artists of different genres together, celebrate this rich culture, and also the Madaraka, which you know is like our independence by the in Kisumu. And I was impressed that you took the bold step to bring it right down to the lakeside. And Madaraka has grown. I mean, you've built it. It's something that's been built. You've worked with artists. You've worked with people from different walks of arts. And what I can tell you guys that for Madaraka Festival 2024 for this year, it's going to be big. They say big and better. I'll say it's going to be larger than life. And I'll encourage you guys. You've seen us posting online. You've seen different videos, promo videos online. We've put up even the barcode on the posters. So for you to get your tickets, it's very easy. Just scan the barcode on the poster, buy your tickets, and also remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Madaraka Festival. And for those, I mean, it's a festive season, perfect timing for those who want to catch a holiday trip and concert. Please subscribe, get your tickets. We promise you will not regret by the day.
I love it. 2 more questions, then we wrap up. One is, share 3 tips when it comes to event production. What are the what are the first 3 things you think about when it comes to events?
For me, event production first has to be the concept. As in, why am I coming up with this concept? Who am I targeting, by the way? The next thing is event venue. Like, fine, I have this target group. I have this concept. Who do I want for my event? And then the next, for me, the most important thing, which is the third, I'll say, is about the returns. I mean, am I doing a charity event? Am I making money? Who am I bringing on board to share the spoils? By the
That's so important.
Yeah, for me, that's very key for an event. And in the long run, remember, in any event, be you're doing it for charity, target audience or anything, it's very key that the event becomes a success. That is very key. No matter in which line you've taken, for making revenue or doing it for charity, success of the event is very important.
100%. Yeah. Anything I did not ask you that you want to share?
I think for me, that's it. Maybe I'll give guys my social media handles. For
that
those.
Would be great.
Yeah. For my social media handles, Facebook, Dave Ngiri Odira. IG, I have 2 handles. One is Dave_Ngiri. The other one is Cordial_Nation. Twitter at Ngiri40. TikTok, Dave Ngiri 254.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you for making the time to join me today.
I'm honored to be hosted by you. Thank you very much, Erokamana.
Asante sana.
Looking forward for the Madaraka Festival.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us for this incredible episode of the Madaraka Podcast. My guest today was Dave Ngiri. We talked about so many things from the influence that his upbringing has on him today as a creator, and we talked about Madaraka Festival and so many things. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this entire episode. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Peace.